My concern is more about how she acted in these videos, especially while wearing them.
Exactly. Because that's what I'm saying. The clothes themselves, okay, let me clarify. Maybe I didn't say that in my like reaction to her response and my commentary on that. The outfits themselves I do not have a problem with, because again, they're meant for schoolgirls or schoolgirl uniforms. This is something that they're gonna wear. And even some women in East Asia still wear these johns, and they're doing it normally. You know what I'm saying? They're just wearing it as fashion. They're not trying to imply or do no crazy john. That's the thing. Just as Eris just said, that's the thing. Her mannerisms and her actions while wearing the school uniform, while also having the aesthetics of a young girl putting in pigtails with the school uniform, is very, very questionable. Because you know what type of people is going to find satisfaction in those mannerism actions she was doing in that John? Nah, we can't cultivate these bulls. We can't farm these bulls. I'm going to see them later. It's not them. You already know what it is, baby. I ain't gonna lie. Back again. What's shaking? So yeah, y'all already know. Y'all saw title thumbnail. We talking about Chii again. Now the whole Chii controversy with, you know, all the things that as we're going around for, rightfully so. And a lot of them, you know, lolly-baiting, promoting eating disorders, you know what I'm saying? Lying as the such and all that. The whole drama and everything goes by. The whole controversy goes by. And obviously people made a ton of vids. Shout out Melody. Shout out IHQV. You know what I'm saying? I reacted to their vids, watched their vids, gave my commentary on the John, and then even Chii herself dropped her response, which obviously you done watch that too. And the main thing that was my problem with the response is that she was acknowledging things that I'm sure she was getting fair, you know what I'm saying, getting criticism for in regards, but she was acknowledging things that with the overall controversy she was doing, like the whole thing, they really, at least in my opinion, didn't matter as much to the other litany of things, way more major things like the lolly baiting and all that, you know what I'm saying, that didn't stack up. So, I mean, it was whatever. But we still took the time, went through, listened to it. But now we got another lover, baby. Shout out Eris that went through this John, and she had her own take on it. So you already know we about to look through and see what her perspective was. Maybe looking at it from Eris's perspective can change Trilly's perspective and hopefully help me see it in a different way. But as far as I'm concerned, especially with the stuff like the lolly baiting and promoting eating disorders and all this type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be pretty hard because it is looking a little bad. But we finna get into it. So let's do it, baby. Like I said, shout out lover baby Eris. Making the vids out here, we have acknowledging Chii's response. You already know what it is. If you want to watch the OG vid, down in the description, first link. Go share the love, like I said, to Eris. And let's get right into it. I'll be seeing for myself, baby.
Chii has finally responded to the allegations surrounding her controversy.
She did.
Let's talk about it. First off, I've decided to private my previous video on Chii. I felt it was the right choice since there may have been some misinterpretations or even bits of misinformation, and I don't want it to add to the hate. Just to be clear, I'm not defending her actions. My goal here is to break down the key parts of her response, simplify them, and share my thoughts.
Say no more.
This isn't about excusing her behavior, but about looking at the situation fairly, acknowledging her response while also discussing how controversies like this are handled online. I still don't fully trust her since she hasn't properly addressed every allegation or piece of evidence.
Thank you, lover baby Eris. Cause that's what I was saying. Like, bro, she didn't really cover some of the major allegations and controversies against her in a way where, like, it was acceptable, at least for me. Like, she could have definitely went and delved into more of, like I said already, the bad stuff instead of more like the things like, you know, the beauty standards and how she wants to, you know, have a certain style. She was, a lot of people are correcting me on that because she wasn't even really doing the Lolita style. Because the Lolita style is more like with the dresses and stuff like that. That's not even what she was doing. I'll leave it alone in terms of dressing. In terms of like her doing like the editing and the makeup, you already know how that John goes. That was already a whole thing in itself, and no one has a problem with her doing that, or at least some people do, because it is kind of promoting unrealistic body standards, yada yada, unrealistic beauty standards. But even still, you're allowed to do that. No one was really about to sit here and condemn her and criticize her for doing edits on herself, fine, whatever. But when it comes to like putting on, you know what I'm saying, the schoolgirl uniforms, schoolgirl gym uniforms and all that type of jazz, jumping around, and we're gonna act like we don't know what type of audience this is being promoted to, especially the Pinterest. That was a whole nother thing in itself. You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone.
But at the same time, it's important that we talk about this with respect. When discussing allegations, we need to think critically and avoid spreading unnecessary hate or harassment. Before we begin, please note that this video will cover sensitive topics, including mentions of incest, pedophilia, racism or discrimination, sexual comments, lolly-baiting or pedo-baiting, suicide attempts, eating disorders, and other potentially triggering subjects.
So you already know what it is. Viewer discretion. If any of them topics bother you, it's your warning.
Viewer discretion is advised. This video is not meant to encourage harassment. Any hateful comments directed at her.
Of course, that was another thing too. Like, does Chii deserve criticism for a good amount of these things? Yes. Do you need to go over there and call her like a fucking bitch and say she needs to die and all this type of shit? No. Like, we can be normal, but I'm still finna call her out for that fucking weird shit she was doing. Like, just to be clear. Like,
will be deleted as I only condone respectful discussions. If any information is inaccurate, feel free to correct me in the comments below. Let's begin.
Opening claims. Talk to me.
Chii denies the claims in the document's introduction. In a past TikTok, she mentioned that out of 14,000 comments, many were disrespectful, which she, her manager, and her supporters saw. She was also accused of deleting comments but says she only removed explicit hate or misinformation. She shared that she was hospitalized in a psych ward after a suicide attempt caused by an anxiety attack. During her stay, she had no phone or internet access and was discharged after a few days.
How about say? Was it? How many days was it exact? I don't get it wrong. It was between like 2 and 4 days.
Instead, she has been managing her anxiety and set strict comment filters to block extreme hate. While open to criticism, she avoids unnecessary hate as it doesn't lead to change. She also locked her Facebook profile to protect her privacy after being impersonated and possibly even doxxed, not out of fear that she'll be exposed further through her controversy. Her post.
I don't know, because some of her accounts did have some pretty interesting content on there, to very much say the least. But I mean, it's also understandable on a factor, because when we were looking at the response, we did cover that too, and I was covered a little bit. So we're like, obviously, you don't want her personal information, at least through these accounts, to get out, and obviously, we don't want her doxxed for real. But even still, I do think, I mean, it was probably a little bit of a priority for her to probably get rid of some of the content that was on there, seeing as though what was on the Pinterest.
Posts were taken out of context, and her profile picture change was simply personal preference. Despite this, people framed her actions as defensive rather than protective. If this is true, I genuinely feel sorry that she had to go through this. It's important that people approach controversies critically, carefully, and properly, though it's hard to fully trust someone's words without solid proof. And that
exactly, and that's my main thing. It's like, yeah, obviously we don't want to go harass and do all this different junk with Chii. She's clearly a girl who has a good amount of things going on mentally, considering obviously she went to the mental hospital. She definitely got, eating disorders and stuff like that. Like, she needs help. And that's the main thing I kept trying to express during the video too. She really needs help. I don't know who the hell her manager is, but fuck that guy, because he's not really helping her for shit. I guess he is now or whatever, because he's fucking minimizing the amount of comments and shit, the hate comments she was getting. That bullshit, that fuckery. Any real manager is about to really let her know, yeah, you probably need to go reconnect with your actual peoples. Maybe not her parents, because we already went through the whole thing with her parents. Some heads were saying her parents was there for her. She was saying her parents weren't there for her, weren't feeding her. I don't know. She needed to lock in. I know she had real friends. She needed to go lock in with them. But that's not what she did. Definitely not what the manager had her do. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that guy, but she just needs real, genuine peoples around her, like, that actually give a shit about her. Not just niggas on internet, not just parasocial motherfuckers. Like, she need real people.
Applies to a lot of the statements in her response video. Without concrete evidence, it's difficult to determine what's true and what's not. I also would like to mention that Chii said she has a manager. While it's understandable for content creators to have one, it feels odd that her manager doesn't seem to be overseeing how she's handling this controversy.
Thank you! Oh my god! Yo, I literally said that too during watching her response video. I'm like, bro, your fucking manager ain't doing jack shit. He's not doing fuck all. Like, that nigga's not doing anything. Because if he really was, he would have been cut you off from this. He would have been had you talking to real people. He would have been, because, bro, you are his moneymaker. If something goes wrong with you, he makes no cheese. So if he's seeing that you're going through all this controversy and all that, he needs to, or not even need to, he absolutely should mitigate that as much as possible. Yo, manager not doing shiza. He not doing nothing, bro. So I ain't gonna lie, Umi, you need to fire that nigga, because he's shilling you, bro. Like,
See. While helping her cope with the harassment she has been dealing with is important, a manager should also be guiding her on the content she puts out and the way she addresses situations like this.
Supporting incest. Yeah, we're gonna get into the Asuna against Sora. Yeah.
Umichi states that she does not support incest. She admires Kazugana Sora's aesthetic.
That's what I'm saying. Do I think in my head that Umichi wants to see brothers and sisters actually bomb? No. But is it weird that her favorite anime and the anime character she resembles so much is the sister character from Kagesuno no Sora? Bro, that's off. That's a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
which is similar with Shiro Lolita, which is a fashion style featuring frilly, doll-like white dresses. Lolita fashion has no connection to Vladimir Nabokov's 1955 novel Lolita, which addresses topics of pedophilia, and instead originates from Natural K, which is inspired by the result of romantic Victorian-era dresses. Umichi's appreciation is purely based on aesthetics, separate from the character's story.
The style, sure.
However, separating a character from their story isn't always easy. Kazugana Sora is tied to an incestuous plot, so it's understandable why people find it concerning. Umichi also acknowledged that Kazugana Sora's story revolves around incest. While it's understandable to separate the character from the narrative, what somewhat contradicts this is the fact that there are countless other characters just...
And that's exactly what me and a lot of people in the comments were saying. I could totally understand if she likes the Lolita style and all that. That's totally fine. I see how she does her edits on her page. Cool. Why is it that the character that you embody is one from an anime whose main plot thread is incest? Like, there are a ton of characters. There are a ton of 9,000-year-old dragons that got the freaking Lolita style, bro. There's a ton of anime characters that got this job, bro. All memes aside, bro, with the freaking lolly John, bro. Because, you know, who be into it. Anyway, besides that factor, there are so many other characters and so many other mediums of anime that has the same exact style, if not, like, directly revolve around the style. Why is it that Kazunaga's no Sora is the one that she relates to the most? That is questionable, is it not? Like,
as if not more visually appealing than Kazugana Sora, and most likely isn't tied with taboo themes. I would also like to add the fact that Kazugana Sora is an underage character. There is nothing weird about adults cosplaying younger characters, but what is weird is cosplaying an underage character who is engaging in an incestuous and sexual relationship with her brother.
Yo, Eris is cooking, bro. And this is what I was saying the whole time. I'm like, bro, I totally understand if you want to do certain cosplays. I even understand if you want to cosplay a character that is relatively like a younger character. Like, bro, what's the name? Heads cosplay characters from animes all the time. Like, for instance, one of my favorite animes is 100 Kanojo, 100 Girlfriends or whatever, right? You see cosplays of the heads in the Johnny be playing Karne or Kari, yada yada, this, that, and the third. Like, obviously, the anime got that Ecchi Jones, whatever, cool. But the factor on that is not on the factor of like, oh yeah, we're trying to make this super sexual, super weird. That's not the whole basis of the plot. Bro, the whole basis of Kazunaga's Sora's plot is just straight up on incest, bro. Like, straight up, son. It's like, yo, so my question is for Umichi, like, yo, I get it, bro. You want cosplay, you want to go for a certain Lolita style. Why are you cosplaying these characters in specific, though? Like, god damn it, like. Pedo-baiting Lolicon. I already know she about to cook. Hold on.
This screenshot shows Umichi and her friend joking about her being a lolly.
I remember this.
According to her, it's an inside joke based on people calling her that or accusing her of trying to act like one. It wasn't about baiting anyone or endorsing that type of content, she was simply poking fun at the accusations. Similarly, the two screenshots from her videos weren't...
Nah, I'm sorry, this makes me uneasy every time I see this. I don't know about this, dog. Sorry.
...meant to bait anyone either. She claims she was just expressing genuine happiness.
Bruh, I'm sorry.
I can't say for certain that this is the full truth.
That shit is not the full truth. I wouldn't even go out and regard that factor as an entire lie, but that is not the full truth. I'm sorry, bruh.
It's unclear whether she was genuinely being bubbly in those videos or acting a certain way, or whether
Bro, I'm sorry. With the pigtailed hair and everything? Bro, you're You're not about to just tell me, bro. You're not about to just tell me. Bro, she was not telling the full truth, bro. Yo, come on, bro. This is crazy, Mart. Like, no one else don't find this a little crazy, son. Like, 19 years old, by the way. What are we doing? Hey, bro, that's y'all. That's y'all, bro. That is y'all. That is y'all, bro.
Resemble bone-jointed porcelain dolls, often admired or a result of self-hatred.
Hold on, I just skipped too forward, y'all. Bro, I can't. I just think this job is just so crazy, son.
Or whether she was making weird jokes with her friends, or actually tolerating being called a lolly.
Shoot, what did I miss? Like the whole part? Hold on.
That this is the full truth? It's unclear whether she was genuinely being bubbly in those videos or acting a certain way.
Nah, she was
or
acting a certain way,
whether she was making weird jokes with her friends or actually tolerating being called a lolly.
This right here, this part that Eric's about to cover, Cyberdoll and East Asian fishing, this is the part that Chii basically, like, her video was 36 minutes. Like 25 minutes it felt like of this video was strictly on this. Like, strictly just on this. I'm like, bro.
Chii didn't create the term cyberdoll, but her content and influence helped popularize it. Her editing style is a form of artistic expression, not an attempt to look like an infantilized East Asian woman or a result of self-hatred.
And that's what I'm saying. If she want to do these edits or whatever, the filters, fine. I don't care. I think she should, like, not use them all the time. She should be happy and proud of who she is. Because, like, yo, if y'all seen Chii without the filters, bro, she's not ugly. Like, hold on. Like, bro, where's my vid at? Because I have a, what's the name? Where, John? Hold on. Real quick. RQs. Yeah, bro, like, look, hold on. Like, if you look at Chii, bro, like, truly don't know how to use a computer. If you look at Chii, this flick right here, like I see right here, that's how Chii looks IRL. She really doesn't even look that different. Like, bro, I swear to God. So I don't know, like, even why she wants to do this. I totally understand she want to do it as an aesthetic and that's her content. But she should definitely not feel insecure. She should most definitely not be trying to develop eating disorders and shit like that, bro. Like, I don't know. But you could also say, shit, I've never been through this shit, so, and I'm not really in this community, so how would I know?
She describes it as self-porcelainification, aiming to resemble bone-jointed porcelain dolls often admired on platforms like Pinterest and Xiaohongshu. She also pointed out that East Asian women frequently modify their appearance through cosmetic procedures and makeup without anyone batting an eye. In her case, she alters her look not out of insecurity or a desire to pass as East Asian, but as part of the cyber aesthetic and dismissed claims that she's trying to pretend to be East Asian. According to her,
I'd agree but disagree, because then, at the same time, this also leads into the eating disorder, so...
Those accusations only reduce East Asian women to nothing more than porcelain dolls, young girls, or K-pop idols when in reality they're just people. In simple terms,
I mean,
she's
that's exactly why I didn't even really care about this part. Because, like, bro, I don't think she's fishing to look like certain women or all that type of shit. I really don't even care about that, bro. If she wants to post this type of Johns where she's adopting this, like, cyberdoll aesthetic, fine. That's completely cool, bro. I'm, like... Who even cares? If bulls say that you racist and all that, when you generally don't dislike people, you're not prejudiced against people, who cares, bro? Like, that's not...
Qualifying herself. This part of her video was pretty confusing. She says she's trying to look like a bone-jointed porcelain doll, but also admits her look aligns with some East Asian beauty trends or standards. She argues that accusing her of trying to pass as East Asian reduces East Asian women to just K-pop idols, young kids, or porcelain dolls.
That's still regardless of the fact that it doesn't make sense.
But this almost sounds like she's saying, I'm not trying to pass as East Asian, and if you think I am, then you're the one reducing them to only looking like K-pop idols, young kids, or porcelain dolls.
This is another problem on Umichi herself's point. Like, she shouldn't have even fed into this at all. Like, legitimately, she should have just kept making her content with the type of aesthetic, with the Cyberdoll aesthetic, Dolly's aesthetic or whatever, and just kept making that jump, bro. The other things, yeah, you need to talk about that, because yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, I like with the things we already covered. But like this, if she quite literally just ignored people like trying to point this out or trying to claim her as racist or whatever, bro, she would not have even dealt with this, bro.
It's to focus onto those making the accusation instead of addressing the concern. I don't know if that's what she meant, but that's how it came across to me. Umichi also mentioned that women who edit themselves similar to how she does it often do it as a form of artistic expression. While that can be true, it's also important to acknowledge that East Asian beauty standards are incredibly strict, to the point where a lot of people feel the need to edit their pictures even when it's unnecessary. While editing can be a fun or creative outlet, constantly changing your appearance can sometimes mess with your self-image.
And that's exactly one of the problems that Umichi has. I ain't gonna lie. Because she said earlier she doesn't do the edits and all that because she's insecure. I would disagree. Also, I know for sure she's definitely insecure because she's part of she's part of ED Twitter, like Twitter, or EDTW, eating disorder Twitter and all that. So she has unrealistic body standards for herself. It's like, bro, it's bullshit. She not about to be out here telling us that, bro, she doesn't have insecurity, she's not feeling us. We know you do. We can see that you do. But also, we're on the factor of, like, I'm not about to condemn her because she has these things. She obviously, like I said, it more close to the beginning of this video, she need help. She need people to get her out of these slumps, bro. To get her out of, having eating disorders. To get her out of feeling insecure. To get her out of fucking lolly-baiting. Like, to get her out of all this dumb shit, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
According to a study published in BMC Psychology, excessive photo editing has been linked to lower self-esteem and a warped sense of how
because it's gonna make you feel like you're not good enough. You gotta keep editing your pictures to make yourself look perfect. That's all I always say. Bro, I get on this motherfucker, I look chopped.
Bomba!
I look chopped, and you wanna know why? Because, bro, that's how I'm gonna look when you wake up. That's how I'm gonna look when you see me. I'm not even about to go on no unrealistic jumps. Now, again, can I blame her for feeling insecure? No, we all got insecurities and all that. But to the factor where she's pushing all this into where, like, yo, she can't even make a response acknowledging this jump. She obviously made her song, but she can't even make her response video without having these filters on is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. Like, yo, come on. Like, babe, Umi, you could take the filter off for this video. You're addressing very important allegations and controversies against yourself. Like, even in that case, she should be able to take this John off. But it's got to the point where, like, she barely make videos without having filters and stuff on. So I feel where Eris is coming from.
People see themselves, especially when they compare their looks to unrealistic beauty standards.
Like I said in the beginning.
Similarly, The Guardian reports that beauty filters contribute to growing body dissatisfaction, especially among teenagers.
Yeah, because you'll keep questioning yourself on, why don't I look like this? Why am I not perfect like this? And all this, that, and the third. And then it's going to corrupt you, bro. It's going to cook you. Then you're going to start having body dysmorphia. Then you're going to start feeling insecurities. Then the only thing you think about is your insecurities. Then that sends you down a bad path mentally. It's like, I'm trying to tell you, to avoid this, you got to be able to have at least one person you could truly talk to, bro. That's why I always stress that. Like, you need your peoples, bro. This is why family is always the most important in my life. And I understand everybody got a different familial situation, but family doesn't mean just blood. Family is, yo, whoever you think of when times get real terrible, that's your family, bro. And she needs someone like that for real for her, because her manager ain't it. Actually, he ain't shit, because he's damn near the reason why she couldn't have not avoided all this shit in the first place, because his dumbass could have told her not to post half this shit. But I'm leaving alone.
Feel pressured to maintain a certain look online. At the end of the day, while editing can be a form of self-expression, it's worth thinking about how it actually affects self-perception. There's nothing wrong with editing your selfies or your own videos, but when
all the time. Like, yeah,
becomes a very common habit, it can
not even common habit. It's her life. It's her, like, and it's crazy because technically it is her career too. She posts videos online. She does like the style edit herself, and that's I'm guessing how she bring in Chii or whatever off TikTok, yada yada. But it's also on a factor. It's affecting her actual real life personal life, like I just discussed. She couldn't even make this response without these filters on. It's crazy.
End up making people feel more insecure rather than helping them feel confident.
Seisofukus.
Seisofukus are Japanese gym uniforms that are also
Yes.
Worn in China for aesthetic purposes despite being foreign to their culture. This shows that anyone can wear taisofkus for their aesthetic appeal rather than to bait inappropriate older individuals. Seifkus are Japanese sailor uniforms, and Umichi discusses different styles such as doshikose or JK fashion, which is popular in China where women wear Japanese school uniforms purely for fashion. She has been wearing this style since she was 16 and continues to do so. These aesthetics are widely admired in East and Southeast Asian communities and are not inherently harmful.
Inherently harmful, no. But can they be? Depending on what you're posting on social media and what type of audiences you're garnering? I think so, me personally. You could say I'm biased, so I'll keep listening.
I can confirm that these uniforms are popular in East Asian communities.
Yeah.
However,
and even people in my comments told me the same thing. They're very popular in what's the name? In JK fashion or in East Asian communities within women too. And like even like she had said earlier, like literally just earlier, Era said like this is even common and sometimes in adult fashion senses. But not before the but, which is fine. But the thing is, again, this is Umichi we're talking about. So
my concern is more about how she acted in these videos, especially while wearing them.
Exactly. Because that's what I'm saying. The clothes themselves. Okay, let me clarify. Maybe I didn't say that in my like reaction to her response and my commentary on that. The outfits themselves, I do not have a problem with because again, they're meant for schoolgirls or schoolgirl uniforms. This is something that they're gonna wear. And even some women in East Asia still wear these johns, and they're doing it normally. You know what I'm saying? They're just wearing it as fashion. They're not trying to imply or do no crazy john. That's the thing. Just as Eris just said, that's the thing. Her mannerisms and her actions while wearing the school uniform, while also having the aesthetics of a young girl putting in pigtails with this school uniform is very, very questionable. Because you know what type of people is going to find satisfaction in those mannerism actions she was doing in that, John? Nah, we can't cultivate these bulls. We can't farm these bulls. I'm gonna see them later. It's not them.
Even with her height and features, the way someone behaves can be interpreted in different ways. The difference with other women wearing taisofkus or gym uniforms is that they aren't necessarily trying to seem childlike.
Exactly.
It's just an aesthetic choice. In her case, it's hard to say whether she was intentionally acting like a child or if she was simply being bubbly and expressing genuine happiness. At the end of the day, backing up claims like this with only explanations will always be difficult.
True. That's fair. I ain't gonna lie. But this is the thing too. Because I don't want to be extremely biased, though. You got to be coming from a realist side. But I don't know. If you see in Umichi's videos, majority of the time, she's not really that much happy. Let's really be honest with yourself. Because clearly, mental junk's going on. She had to go to the mental spot. Discussed that several times in the video already up until this point. Like, clearly she's not doing that good mentally. So, why all of a sudden in these vids are you bubbly, you happy now, looking all childlike, giddy? Like, it makes me question. Am I not allowed to have, like, a question on that? I don't know. But you can say I'm going too far. Potentially, I don't know. I just really question it. And I question the type of bulls that will look at this type of John and be like, like, you nasty. Bro, you know what? These nasty ass niggas. ED Twitter, eating disorders. Definitely need to talk about this.
Umichi explains that ED Twitter is a space for those struggling with eating disorders who may not be ready to heal and has since apologized.
I'm going to tell you right now, do not go at ED Twitter. If you are looking for people that are like-minded in the space, nah, fuck all that, bro. And maybe I'm going to have to get canceled over this, but fuck all that. You need to go consult people in real life. Do not go in that fucking goddamn forsaken cesspool app Twitter to go find like-minded people with fucking eating disorders. That is not how you're going to get help. That is not how you're going to fix your situation. Not from that fucking cesspool app. And I want to, and not even to talk crazy about the people on there, but like they're the ones posting on there too, cultivating more of this audience for more and more people to go on there who have eating disorders to be posting on there. It's just propagating it more. Fuck ED Twitter. Go find real people that actually love and care about you and let them know what's going on so they can help you fix this shit. Fuck Twitter. I don't give a fuck about that app. Like,
for glamorizing disordered eating, inspo, and a joke she made on Facebook. Though I find it strange that in her video, She compares professional hotlines to a space on X or Twitter.
And that was a whole nother thing too. Like, bruh, she should not be recommending people to go to ED Twitter. Like that is just outwardly bad.
Communities can be supportive. It's important to seek real professional help when possible instead of relying on people who might not be able to provide the right kind of support.
Exactly. Thank you, Lover Baby Eris. Thank you. You need to go seek actual peoples, bro. You don't go on fucking Twitter.
Being in an environment such as ED Twitter could slow down recovery and end up doing more harm than good.
Directly.
If getting professional help isn't an option, there are still other healthier ways to work towards recovery on your own. Please take good care of yourselves.
Said it just like that. Stamped. And that's exactly what I was saying. You should not be trying to seek help from heads on Twitter that are dealing with the same problems. Now I understand some heads would want to cope with someone who actually understands what they're going through, and I totally understand that. But not on a factor of this when it truly can affect your health in a way. You need the most professional help to get out of that situation, especially when it comes to eating disorders. I don't know what the fuck Umichi was doing with that shit. Racism against her own race in hate speech. Yeah, a lot of people were saying this. Because if y'all don't know, she's Filipino. She was saying she was putting a lot of hate on Filipino people. I don't know what the fuck. Shit crazy.
Umichi explained her so-called racism or discrimination against her own race. She wasn't talking about all Filipinos, just ignore it once. But the way she worded it led to misinterpretation. She acknowledged this and said she'll be more careful with her wording, but won't apologize for how others interpreted her post. She also addressed her statement about people choosing luxury over health. While the idea itself isn't controversial at its core, the issue was her hypocritical and derogatory...
I'm about to say that the issue was because that shit was completely against what she was saying, because she was saying that those people were unhealthy and all that type of shit, yet she's the girl, could be potentially lolly-baiting, pedo-baiting, could be the girl that's sitting here fucking around on ED Twitter, bro... It's like the clear hypocrisy was just burning her ass.
Tone, especially given her past glamorization of eating disorders. She has since apologized for this. And lastly, she clarified that her post saying it costs nothing...
See, you see how the posts of Umichi are going by? Bro.
Apologized for this. And lastly, she clarified...
Filters, hefty. But she don't even need them. Because the filters are barely even doing that much shit besides making her eyes fucking big as fuck.
Clarified that her post...
And she's not ugly. I need y'all to understand. Some of y'all don't know what ugly truly is, bro.
It costs nothing to be...
Niggas will be like, mid. I'm like, bro, y'all niggas have never seen what fucking ugly, what mid really is, bro.
Kind and spread hate was meant as satire, playing off the phrase, it costs nothing to be kind and spread love. I would like to admit that in my previous video, I took her satirical post out of context since my info came from the document, and for that, I apologize for the misinformation. Though, I would like to remind that phenotype is a term used in biology. While she was right that it refers to traits or characteristics, she left out the fact that phenotype is influenced by both genetics, or genotype, and environmental factors. Genotypes are the genetic makeup inherited from parents, basically a person's DNA sequence.
That's what I'm saying. It's bro, you know how people have dominant and recessive genes, bro. Everybody learned this in biology, 10th grade. The RR, lowercase r, you know what I'm saying? Double uppercase, double lowercase, one uppercase, one lowercase, and then vice versa. No,
Using
two
phenotype in her post felt unnecessary, and the way she structured it didn't make much sense. Even if she tends to use complex wording, her past posts, especially on Facebook, show that she's completely capable of speaking casually and clearly.
That was another thing too that I was really kind of disregarding, or I didn't care about as much in the vid, and I might have acknowledged it a couple times, but yo, she was trying to use every word out of a goddamn encyclopedia possible, bro. I was sitting there bro, babe, Umi, I know you done cleared the shit out your thesaurus before making this video, because you were busting out fucking terms that no one has used since the actual 1800s, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Indubitably. Stupid. I ain't even gonna hold you. But then again, that's just skill issue. I get, if I'm being completely fair, that's just skill issue that we don't understand the shit she's saying. Now, did it correlate to making a better argument for her? No. But It didn't, but like, I guess skill issue.
Could have just said, I dislike close-minded Filipinos, and it would have gotten the point across.
Literally.
On top of that, calling Filipino phenotypes as having a brain the size of a cashew was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, that is clearly like you just have a prejudice against them. Like, we're not.
This
even
kind of statement just makes the post come off as more derogatory than anything. Words such as inbred, illiterate, and phenotype were already unnecessary, but adding an insult like that only makes it worse. If she wanted to
calling it inbred is like like
use that kind of language, she should have at least worded it properly. But honestly, it would have been better not to say it in a complex way at all.
Japanophilia.
Umichi clarified the misunderstanding about her video where she and her family bought karyoka. It wasn't her sibling who made the comment about someone that said that she looked Japanese, but her mother. Her mother said, "Mukha ka daw Japanese, ay baka mahulog ka." While Umichi was walking on a bridge using her phone, simply reminding her to be careful. The vendor was the one who originally said she looked Japanese, but she corrected him saying that she is fully Filipino, with a Tagalog mother and an Ilocano father. I just wanted to mention this for anyone who might not know. Carioca is a fully Filipino delicacy. Carioca is also called bicho-bicho or cascaron, and it's made from glutinous rice, grated coconut, and sugar. Personally, I found it a bit odd that her tone and pitch didn't sound like how she usually speaks, especially in Tagalog. Carioca isn't a Japanese term, it's Filipino. This is just my own observation, but as a Filipino, it's pretty rare for someone to say a Filipino word in an overly cutesy or quote-unquote childlike way.
Because we know what she's doing, bro. She's playing a kid. I'm leaving alone.
Maybe it was just a
no biases.
Cuter. But in the end, we don't really know.
Other things and always shoot. What about I ain't gonna lie, I'm not even gonna speak about the factor of like when we watched Melody's videos and it was bringing up all the texts of like fucking Umichi, and she has this obsession with like I don't even know how to word it. It's not even like, it's not an obsession with like kids, bro, but like she would always talk about how heads are little and talk about little boys, little girls. I'm like, bro, this shit, I'm trying to tell you, it's just a whole lot of weird shit going on.
Towards the end, she warns that any old or new screenshots claiming to be her without concrete proof like screen recordings directly linking to her official pages are likely false. She urges people to be
that's understandable because after this,
mindful of baseless rumors and to think critically before engaging. She also addresses the insults directed at her, asking for empathy, and acknowledges that her lighthearted demeanor, like laughing or smiling, may be taken out of context. Lastly, she thanks those who have supported her through the situation. I will say, and I will admit, that outright dismissing any evidence that isn't directly linked to her official pages feels off to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's understandable that you should be more wary because, like, obviously with this whole controversy, she's gonna have more haters and more haters are gonna be prevalent on her. And I mean, like, actual haters, not people that are giving her genuine criticism for the bullshit she's done. I mean, like, niggas telling her she's a bitch, you need to kill her, so yada yada. Like, actual niggas, those niggas are gonna do weird shit and try to make like false evidence on her. But yeah, also that's a factor of like, come on, Trilly's the realist, bro. If some evidence come out, bro, I gotta use this in my biases, bro. But we gotta make sure it's like actually true. But to disregard anything that comes out about her when she literally has prior controversies and prior drama she got into, I don't think so. That's basically like telling me, oh, you could just ignore that. Trust me, I didn't do anything wrong. Hell nah. Like,
trust is already hard to establish, and we can't always be certain that something is fake just because it isn't connected to an official account. While I don't support spreading rumors or misinformation, it's important to stay neutral in situations like this. At the end of the day, we may never know who is lying and who is telling the truth. Finally, the next section of my video will be my full thoughts on her response and this entire situation.
Say no more. My honest thoughts in outro. Alright, Eris. Love it, baby Eris. Talk to me. Talk to me, girly.
There's still a lot of confusion and distrust
shitload
when it comes to Umichi.
Massive amount.
And honestly, her response barely cleared anything up.
Yo, And yo, some heads in the comments of my channel was saying I was low key kind of like I was on a biased perspective, but they liked it. But this is what I kept saying, and even like Eris agrees with me. Her response just wasn't like enough. She didn't cover like as much shit as she needed to. She didn't go in depth as much as she needed to, especially on certain topics of her controversy and her drama. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, certain jobs need to be looked into even more. And more prevalently on that, we need to pull up them fucking DMs and all them shits that Melody was pulling up in her video. Because them shit's even more damning. Because she was talking about some like, oh yeah, she would never stoop down to the levels of being like a hater like that. She would never insult people and do that. She was only deleting the comments. Like, bro, that's bullshit. She was in there calling heads stupid ass little kids and all this junk. I'm like, bro, she was capping. Like,
instead of directly addressing everything in a way that people
those illiterate hater little children. I'm like, what the fuck is like?
People can easily understand. She made things even more confusing. She's most likely being dishonest, or at the very least avoiding certain points.
She's absolutely avoiding certain points. That's just obvious. Again, we all acknowledge here that she's not covering some of these topics as well as she can and or should have.
While she does tend to use complex wording, she's fully capable of speaking in a way that's clear and straightforward, so I highly doubt that she talks like this every day.
She doesn't.
One of the biggest issues with her response is that her argument largely boils down to, if these people do it, why can't I? While that reasoning might work in some cases, it doesn't automatically justify.
If she wants to dress up in a Lolita style for fashion, cool. If she wants to adopt a dolly type of aesthetic, fine, sure, with the content she makes. But it gets to the point where you take these things, you take these styles, these aesthetics, and you add certain things to them to where it turns it into where it's can 1 be predatory, 2 be very unwell for people, 3 definitely not good for your child audience and or predator audience, going back to 1. Like, it's just nah, like we have to ask more questions. Because I totally understand if she wants to be in a certain style, certain aesthetics, that's her right to do that. You're allowed to technically like whatever you want, even if it's some fucking heinous shit, which feel me, which is wrong. But like, bruh, it's like she knows that the weird narratives and shit that is looking like with some of this content and with some of the shit she be saying, like she knows some of this shit is off. I know
everything.
She knows.
Just because other people engage in similar behavior doesn't mean it suddenly becomes acceptable or that she shouldn't be held accountable.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't know how many niggas' favorite animes is Kasuna Genosora. I don't know how many niggas' favorite anime is that, and that's coming from a nigga who's, again, 100 Kanjo is in my top 5. But I don't know how many niggas got that shit as the top 1, let alone top 3 or some shit.
Context matters, and comparisons like these often ignore key differences in intent, execution, and impact. Rather than addressing the actual concerns people have, she seems to be deflecting responsibility by pointing fingers at others.
And the crazy part was she kept saying that people were trying to demonize her too. That was a thing I kept bringing up in her response, because she kept saying that shit, like everyone's just demonizing her for just locking in on an aesthetic or a style. And I'm like, nah, it's not just that. It's like, no, you're just really not taking that much accountability.
There were also parts of her response that felt completely unnecessary, such as the heavy editing of her face. While that is...
Yo, I'm done. This is what I was saying. Umi, babe, I totally understand the aesthetics of your content and all that. You are making a response to allegations of pedo and lolly-baiting. I don't even know why the fuck you would think of a filter. Like, what are we talking about? This joint should have no filters, bro. This is great. Yo, I don't even know. Is her
choice. This was supposed to be a video addressing allegations, and it would have been better if she
I swear to God, I did not pre-watch this video. I seen Eris's other video, but I did not pre-watch this vid, bro. I was actually saving this vid to come and watch this, John, when I did. Cause I think she posted this like 8 days ago, a week ago or something like that. But like, bruh, no pre-watch is just like, yeah. Now, if you're sitting from here from a normal, like even not even that biased perspective, because I know obviously I'm a little biased in this, but if you're really trying to look at this from a realist John, like, bruh, it's very clear. Her response, she ain't really addressed things as much as she could have. Also, she spent more time addressing other Johns using complex words and matters that could have been simplified down for more of a general audience to understand, but she did not do that. She pretty much is disregarding accountability for the most part and really only apologized for one thing, which is insane considering she did a multitude of bad things. It's like, bro, when you look at this, you're just like, yeah, like she's being disingenuous. That's really all it is. Like she truthfully is.
Presented everything in a more neutral and straightforward way rather than making it look aesthetic. It might sound like a small thing, but
No, I think
kind
it's
of
a big
adds to
thing.
the feeling that she was
No, I think high key, and that's not even me to really try to drag it on Umi. I think it's a big thing because it just shows more to add credence to her insecurities and all this other stuff. Because even still, throughout this controversy, with one of the things she majorly covered, which was, you know what I'm saying, the editing and making herself look like this and all that, the aesthetic, this was one of her things. Even that right now, even with you covering that probably the most and most prevalently, you still got this shit on during the vid. It's like, how does that help to your credence? How does that help to your credence? You're making a serious response. This shit was dumb.
wasn't taking the situation as seriously as she should have. Not everything in her video adds up,
Not
but
at all.
regardless of how she's acting, I still believe it's important to remain respectful.
Yeah,
Bullying
we not calling her a bitch. She's not even ugly. That's another thing too. I can't, and I mentioned that several times throughout this video even. But she's not a bitch. You don't need to go dox her. You don't need to go hate on her and all that other shit. You don't need to be doing that. You can criticize her just like Eris is, just like I am, just like Melody, IHQV, everybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't need to be doing all that other weird shit, that stalker shit, that fucking H3 snarker shit, that fucking dumb shit. Like,
her, especially over her appearance or body, doesn't solve anything and only makes things worse. She's already clearly struggling with dysmorphia, so making fun of her looks isn't the way to go. If we're going to discuss these issues, we should focus on the actual problems and hold her accountable in a way that leads to real change, rather than just turning it into another pylon. Overall, it would be best if she took a huge break from social media.
Shoot, Eris, loving baby Eris, she's taking the words out of my mouth, because that's what I was gonna say for my final opinions conjecture. Like, she just need to take a long ass break. Also, fire that bitch ass manager. That nigga ain't shit. He not
Or
doing
just
shit.
leave entirely. She needs genuine professional help. Staying on the internet won't improve her mindset and mental health,
No way
as
possible.
this isn't helping her in any way, shape, or form.
None.
On top of that, her response makes her difficult to trust. The only
Very
people
much
who
so.
truly knows the full story are her family, her friends, and ultimately, Chii herself.
But is Chii gonna give us the full context? Hell no, baby. Tough. But y'all already know what it is. That was acknowledging Chi's response by, of course, lover baby Eris. Y'all know. Shout out, shout out, shout out. Y'all already know what it is. If you want to watch the OG build out to Trilly after that boy will be down in the description. First link. Go share the love to her. I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, this is a good video, and I pretty much agreed with her throughout the whole John. Like no glaze, no glaze. But like, yeah, like Eris's acknowledgement of Chi's response was a better response, like, than actually Chi's. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, if Chi dropped what Eris just dropped here, honestly, it would have been way better to look at this John. I mean, we still not forgiving her, because again, still some heinous shit she done on a lot of factors. But like, even still on that, you know what I'm saying, it would be way better to look at it more even, because shit, more people would be able to understand it. That's a whole nother thing itself. But my final opinions and conjecture for Chi: one, internet gotta go bye-bye for a good amount of time. Internet gotta go bye-bye. I'm saying at least 6 months, probably a year. Like I said also before too, fuck your manager. He's not on shit. He's clearly just trying to shill money out of you. He doesn't give a fuck about you, because if he did, you wouldn't probably have even got this far into this controversy. Let alone would he have let you fucking do all this other dumb shit you be doing on these videos. Like that's a whole nother factor. And 3 is just like, where is her people's at, bro? Like, family, friends, like they need to be more in her life constantly. Like I'm not saying she got to be babied everywhere she go, but she need her people's checking up on her. You know what I'm saying, pretty frequently. I'll say the very least. I'm not gonna lie, because as far as all this shit goes, and as far as where her mind is going and how fucking bad it's done got, Chi, babe, please go focus on getting help for yourself and fixing your life. This internet shit is not helping you. Not at all. Not at all, babe. But y'all already know what it is. Of course, yo, shout out love it, baby Eris once more. Go share the love, y'all already know. Other than that, I'm finna catch y'all on the flip, baby. Peace.
you.